I've brought you up out of the shelter of the bushes where we were talking about butterflies to an overlook above Police Point Park. And here comes a rainstorm. But we don't complain about rain in Medicine Hat because we always need more moisture. It's a little chilly, but it's spring. We were down in the shelter of the shrubs, but now we want to talk about the shrubs. If you come here in the middle of the summer, when everything's all leafed out and green, you might be excused to think that it's all just one kind of bush. Well, actually, we have about 20 different kinds of woody plants here in Police Point Park. And as the seasons go through, it's a good time to figure out the differences. Now, early in the spring, some of them start to bloom. One of the first is a shrub that blooms before it grows any leaves. And that's kind of unusual. It's called fragrant sumac. It has tiny little yellow blossoms, but they grow in clusters. So it kind of looks like the bush has little pom-poms all over it. It's kind of confusing for a lot of people because if you want to identify a plant, one of the first things you look for is the leaf. It doesn't have any leaves yet, but it does have these little blossoms all over it. Now the fragrant sumac has some interesting stories to go with it. And if you're interested in them, come on into the Nature Center and ask us about it. And we'll tell you where the plant is, where you can find it, and some of the stories that go with it. One of the other early bloomers in the park are the Saskatoons. Now, Saskatoons are beautiful, delicious berries, and I was really surprised how many Saskatoon bushes we actually have here, because they rarely set fruit. I grew up farther north and we'd go picking Saskatoons every summer, make them into jam and pies and all those good things. Look around here, it's pretty hard to find Saskatoon berries. I think it's generally too hot and dry. Maybe not today, but over the whole summer, too hot and dry for the Saskatoons. Chokecherries are much more adapted here. Where I grew up, we hardly ever saw the chokecherries. So different plants like different places. But right now, from this overlook, we can scan across the park and all the white blossoms that we can see are actually Saskatoon bushes. So there's quite a few of them. The chokecherries bloom a little bit later. And when they are in full bloom, it's wonderful down here. It smells so good. The majority of the shrubs in Police Point Park, and some of them are pretty big shrubs, are chokecherries. And they are a real cherry. When they have fruit, if you squeeze one of them, it has a little cherry pit in it, like the ones you'd buy in the store. So the chokecherries are adapted to our climate. They do really well. They grow their leaves before they bloom. And so right now the leaves are growing and you can see the bud, all the buds. They're on a long stem and they hang down. And of course that's how you see the cherries hanging later in the summer. It's important to note that because there's some other berries that are similar, but you don't want to eat them. So it's good to recognize the chokecherries. So by mid-May through to the end of May, chokecherries will be in full bloom and the whole park will just smell wonderful. Now, as you're exploring, you'll probably see the golden currants blooming right now. They'll last for a little while, through maybe till the end of May. Things move through the seasons. Later on, we'll have wild roses. The snowberries will be blooming. The white wild clematis will be blooming. Clematis is another one that some people will perk up their ears when I mention clematis. They think of the great big showy flowers that we grow in our gardens. Well, the wild white clematis that grows here has tiny little flowers, but they have lots of them. As a flower, they're not really showy, but come fall, it's beautiful. They have these long silky plumes, which are the seeds, and they, of course, they're a vine, so they climb up over the shrubs, and they're just a wonderful addition to our fall scenery. The shrubs and trees are always changing through the seasons as they bloom, as they set fruit, as they change color. There's always something happening around the park. Of course, they also provide a lot of homes for the birds to nest in, for the little critters to hide in, or some of the big ones too, all the way from the mice to the moose. You never know what you might find when you go exploring in Police Point Park.